gifted and black. Oh, what a lovely, precious dream. To be young, gifted and black. Open your heart to what I mean. In the whole world, you know, there's a million boys and girls who are young, gifted and black. And that's a fact.
The first time I probably experienced racism, I must have been probably about 6 years old. And in the school playground, I had some little kid running around saying, blackbird, blackbird. And it's just like, yeah, okay. Then after that, probably the next kind of major time that I remember was when I was about 8 years old. But the thing is as I've got older, I've realized that wasn't even racism, they were just stupid. And I've come to realize that the idea of racism, and what racism is people in power exercising that power to stop any kind of movement, you know? Me personally, I don't feel a black person can be racist towards a white person. But that's not because, I feel they can be prejudiced towards them and they can display that prejudice towards them. But where they have no power, and they're not going to stop them from getting a job, they're not going to stop their kids going through to a certain school, they're not going to stop certain things. So in the grand scheme of it, it just isn't racism, isn't the definition of racism as to what I understand. Like, everyone thinks it's so multicultural, it's so this, it's so that, but it just isn't. Like, even with this whole Brexit thing and the fact that everyone's getting racial abuse now, like, part of me feels like, yeah, so we've been getting it forever. Like, there's never been a point at which we didn't get it. For me, sending you that newspaper headline was just like see, look at this shit. Like, I'm so kind of over it now that, like, when I see this stuff, I just have a little chuckle to myself, a little, because that's pretty much how it is, how it's always been. I've had experience of being targeted in London, but that was in my younger years when, just in younger years when you're just out and about, when you were out on road or whatever, you might, if police see you, you've either got to run or you're gonna get picked off, basically. When I say picked off, I don't mean like killed SAS style or anything like that. I mean, like, they're gonna try and search you, they're gonna try and do their utmost. When I was younger, I just felt that they were doing their utmost to try and get my fingerprints or try and get my DNA or try and get something, so that if something else happens anywhere else, at least they've got all my stuff on a database. And it just feels like a lot of the young black boys are being rounded up. It feels pretty much like cattle and tagged. I've seen a lot of double standards a lot at different times through my life, basically. There was a lady and an Asian guy. The Asian guy got on the train, but the trains are always packed. So you're always going to be angry at someone. But the way that what the woman said was something like, we do things differently here, or something to that extent. And I was like, that's a bit racist. And I pulled her up on it as well. That towards the end, I started getting claps and stuff. But my point, I just think to myself, why don't anyone else say anything? Why have I got to be the disruptive young black boy? The funny thing about all this Black Lives Matter stuff is that obviously all lives matter, but there's obviously been some kind of, there's been somewhere where we've been dropped off the edge, innit? So, like, Black Lives Matter too. Like, if it said Black Lives Matter too, would that make people feel more safe? I'm not sure. But there definitely needs to be a movement. There's been too many deaths in police custody. There's too many situations that arise that individually it might be something quite small and quite trivial, but when you start adding them up, then it starts to become something. Before me and my wife had our little one, I considered not even having children because this place is messed up. This place is seriously messed up. What opportunities is she going to have? A lot of the problems and stuff that we have are projections from other people that we take on board. Like, one thing that I feel massively about that I kind of persuaded my missus to do was to just drop the relaxer. Stop relaxing your hair, grow your hair naturally, have natural hair, because now you've got your little one, we've got our little one. Who's she going to look up to? We can't have her relaxing her hair because you know that the damage that it does to it in the long run. So, so she's gone natural, and there just seems to be a revolution at the moment within, or an awakening within our community as such. Yeah, it's impressive, and I'm impressed with a lot of the youngsters that I see these days. Yeah, they're moving well.